Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Faith, Family, and Finances with Mommy Angel. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so grateful for your support. Today, I would like to share a very personal experience about being rejected. For sure, a lot of us have been rejected in our lives, whether it's by someone or a job that we wanted but didn't get it. So let's see if we can all reflect on those moments and actually see the positive side. Perhaps the biggest rejection in our life might actually be life's way of saving us, like giving us a GPS or a compass saying that, hey, you're in the wrong road, go this way, right? Rerouting us because we are in the wrong road. I didn't always see rejection that way. Years ago, I thought rejection meant the universe was looking down at me saying, nope, try again. Or nope, you're not enough. Or not good enough, right? So after a job interview, we always think like, what do I need? What am I going to do to fit or to get that job? Because sometimes the employer would just say, we'll call you, but they never did, right? So let me take you back to my college days back in the Philippines, also known as the time of my life when sleep was optional and stress was my best friend. I had a scholarship, which sounded glamorous, until I realized scholarships don't buy food, notebooks, or other personal needs. So I worked for a wealthy family. Every morning, I cleaned the house before school. Every afternoon when I got back from school, I cleaned their dog houses and the entire backyard where the dogs stayed all day. And yes, those dogs, they had huge dog houses. And after cleaning the dog houses and the backyard, I would tutor their grandkids. I was basically a one-woman household service department. Naturally, I was super tired. So one day in class, I accidentally fell asleep. Well, accidentally makes it sound like I didn't want to sleep. My body made a decision without consulting me. The professor kicked me out and told me to come back when I was ready to learn. Honestly, I was ready. My eyelids just weren't cooperating. Long story short, the scholarship director found out that I was working and I was having a hard time at school. So he advised me to quit my job since I had to maintain a certain grade. It will affect my grades if I will keep working and, being tired and sleeping in class. So that was the advice. So when I came home, I was thinking, well, if I quit my job, where would I get money for my allowance? My parents already helped me, but it's not enough because the fare for the jeepney and the food, the snacks, the clothes, and everything else, projects, you need to buy this, photocopy of some resources. It would not be enough to just rely on my parents. So I needed some job to help. But the scholarship does not support scholars working on the side and going to school because it really affects the grade, and it's true for me. I could not concentrate in the class, being tired, working, and then sitting in class. Oh well, the body just thought, this is rest day. Okay, so I had a deep thinking that night after talking to the scholarship director. Then I realized, well, college is really hard, and I was already in my second year. And then someone actually told me that, guess what? The next day, the Philippine Air Force was actually doing their recruitment on that day. That they do like once a year, they would hire new recruits to be in the Air Force. So I thought like, wow, this is the best solution to quit. So I woke up early, went to the air base, lined up at 4 in the morning, and the line was long. Hundreds of people were there, like also wanted to be in the Air Force. So I said, okay, this is it. This is my way out of college. So I waited until they opened the gate at 8 in the morning. So people are like walking into the big line. There's big line. There's a lot of people in uniforms ushering where the applicants would go. And then I was waiting and waiting until it was my turn. I was, of course, very nervous because, when you see those faces of the officers, they look very serious. They were strict. They didn't know how to smile. But I was like, okay, I got this. I was looking at those people who came out from the interview room. They either had two expressions. The first one is like smile, happy face, like saying, yes, I'm going to be a hero. And then the second type of face is like, not for me, or someone just slammed a door in my face, like the look of disappointment, or someone just stole their lunch. And finally, my name was called. I held onto my folder with all my requirements, my transcript, my resume, my cover letter, everything in that folder. So I held onto it. Someone walked me into a huge conference room with about 10 officers sitting at an oval table. It looked like the Avengers, but with stricter haircut. The interview started well. Well, the questions were like, tell me something about yourself. What are your dreams, goals, and stuff like that. So I felt very confident that I answered all their questions well. And one officer looked at my folder, and he looked very serious. And he leaned forward and asked, did you know that there's a height requirement? I looked at him straight in the eye and said, yes, sir. He said, then why are you here? Well, what was I supposed to say? I knew I was an inch shorter than the standard height requirement they needed. So I smiled and answered, sir, I was hoping to be the first person in the Air Force who is an inch below the requirement. There's always a first time. And sir, I may be 5'1", but my courage is taller than 5'2". Well, that didn't do. He didn't look pleased. So I tried one more time. I said, sir, when you send your people to war and bullets are flying all over, those people who are taller, they're gonna get hit first. But people who are shorter, we might be spared, so we will survive. Some people laughed, but not that guy. He looked at me, and personally, it's like I had offended the entire Air Force department. He said, go back to school, become a teacher, and stop being a philosopher. Ouch. Rejected because of something completely beyond my control. My height. I couldn't exactly stretch myself 2 inches right there, or even 1. I would do that if I could. But here's the twist. That rejection pushed me back to school. My family rallied behind me, and I became a teacher. The very career that the officer told me. Now I look back and think, if I had joined the Air Force, I would not be here today. I would not be a mom of 2 amazing kids. I would not be teaching here in the USA and enjoying this American dream. So, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow immigrants here in the USA, or anyone who has experienced rejection, let's start seeing rejection as not a stop sign. Let's start seeing it as a bossy GPS saying, turn right, trust me, I know better. Rejection redirects us to the life we're actually meant to live. So the next time life tells you no, smile and say, thank you for saving me from myself. Because sometimes rejection is just redirection wearing camouflage. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you come back for my next episode here on my podcast, Faith, Family, and Finances with Mommy Angel. Bye for now.